My name is Stefan. I'm coming from Romania. I've been working for overseas adventure travel for around 16 years now, starting in 2005 as a local guide, and then as an airport representative, and then further on as a program director up to this day. So every single year is quite an interesting and exciting one. Before the war started, nobody actually expected anything. We were pretty sure, we were talking to friends and colleagues as well, and we were all sure that it's never going to happen, and because there were threats throughout the years multiple different times, and we were sure that there was never going to be an attack. But then surprise happened, and actually it was. And then we saw the first wave of refugees coming into Romania. There were a few thousands people just coming in from the very first moment. They were generally mothers and children, because men were not allowed to leave the country anymore. So they were coming on foot, basically. The men were bringing them to the Ukrainian-Romanian border. And from that point on, they were walking on their own to the Romanian border. And then from that point on, coming into the country itself. People in Romania and the neighboring countries, Poland as well, and all the nearby countries, we are generally people that want to help. Given the circumstances that Ukrainian people found themselves in, every one of the locals did their utmost best to be able to protect them, because in the end that's what it is. So basically, in the very first few days, locals organized themselves at the border, finding what they need, how they need, what they need. Local churches as well came at the border, set up some small tents to basically offer them some hot soup, some hot coffee, something hot, because in that area it's quite cold, below freezing. Locals were taking them to their homes. B&Bs in the whole area of the northern part and northeastern part of the country closed down for regular customers, so they could give the rooms free of charge to the refugees, preparing 3 meals a day everywhere. Then also other people offered transportation to the bigger cities, to Brasov, to Bucharest, to everywhere, to Sibiu, to Cluj, to all different towns. So basically the help could be distributed kind of evenly. Basically everybody decided to help in such a way that everybody is taken care of at the end of the day. When we first found out about the whole situation, we went to the 3 borders to actually assess the situation everywhere. And then basically when we found out exactly what the locals need, I talked to my team, 5 people actually, a team, plus my mom and my girlfriend. We got involved into it. We made a plan of what we can do, how we can do, and where we can go. And we started doing the shopping, we started doing everything on the funds that the Grand Circle Foundation sent, in order to have basically every single dollar getting to the people. It's heartbreaking to see families that are being basically broken apart. We were talking to some of them that they were saying goodbye to the men on the other side, not knowing if they will ever going to see each other again. It is indeed heartbreaking, but I believe that the will to help and to really do the best we can, it can be sometimes stronger than the emotions. Yeah. The funds that have been donated to the foundation for the moment, we have used them on multiple different levels in such a way that we are taking care from the basic needs, but also thinking on for the future, because we do not think that this is going to end quite fast. We believe it's going to take a while. So we started by actually assessing the situation at 3 of the most important borders. Sighet border, which is right up north in Romania, the Siret border, which is northeast, and the Isakcha border, which is right southeast, I would say, by the Danube Delta area. So we checked all of these situations, every one of them, every one of the border crossings. We saw what people need in the area. So we brought food, supplies, anything from basic needs, flour, canned food, meat, everything possible, to women tampons, to women pads, to Pampers for the children, socks, warm clothing. We brought pillows, we brought everything that one would need for a short period of time that they are staying there. Then we found unbelievable kindness at a family that runs a small B&B next to Bucharest, that they are welcoming refugees there. They have about 19 rooms and they host about 40 people there. They basically closed down almost their entire business. Dana and Ninel are the two owners, quite cute couple that everyone in the family works at this B&B, helping the refugees in. They put signs in Ukrainian, they put everything possible. They helped with a few words in Ukrainian and Romanian so they could easily translate in between. By the way, they also use Google Translate because most of the Ukrainians do not speak any sort of English. There is a very small percentage that do, so therefore it's a bit more difficult with the communication. So Google Translate is the one that helps the most. And we are helping them now getting new beds so they can have new mattresses, new pillows, everything to make the stay more comfortable for the ones staying there. In the meantime, we also found out about a camp right across the northern border, the Siget border, where there are about 2,000-3,000 men there, based on what one of the local mayors from that region says, that they are there after dropping off their wives at the border. They are staying there for a few days before going back to the war. So in that section over there, there are quite a few stationed. So we brought just this week that just passed, Saturday actually, we brought medical supplies, we brought food, we brought quite many things to see how the help could go through the border, and they did, and now we are going to bring some more transports for them as well. I've never actually worked with the Grand Circle Foundation before. I heard about the Grand Circle Foundation, I knew about the Grand Circle Foundation, but I will give you the finest example because, you know, you only hear about the Grand Circle Foundation doing great things everywhere, and then when you see it firsthand, that's completely different. We were going for one of the local places next to Bucharest, in Buftea, where we actually met a mother, a daughter, and the grandma. And the daughter was 6 months old. Kiki was her name actually, quite a beautiful little baby daughter. And they wanted to have a sterilizer for feeding bottles for babies and feeding bottles. So we went to the local pharmacy where they have this huge children's pharmacy, basically with toys and everything. We got feeding bottles for babies, we got formulas, we got milk for babies, everything. You cannot imagine the happiness that that mother and grandma had with that little thing that we just brought to them. It was a bag of goodies for the baby. It was unbelievable. And we are still visiting the baby and the family every 2 days with everything. We check what they need, we bring things there. It's unbelievable. The changes that we are making in these people's lives, it's absolutely wow. With the donations that we are receiving from our travelers and from the Grand Circle Foundation, basically everything we are doing is possible. Without them and without the donors and without the funds that we are getting from the Grand Circle Foundation, nothing of this would be possible. Because with those funds, we are getting the food for the refugees, the clothing, the bedding, everything that we can get for them, it's done with these funds and the Grand Circle Foundation. So we want to thank you for that, because there is no other chance that they can actually get it. Since we are there on the spot, and you as travelers, as the Americans, by donating to the Grand Circle Foundation, it basically helps continuing the efforts that we are doing on the spot with everything from the basic supplies to the even more on the long run. So therefore this would be it, because traveling in the region, it's still very much safe. In Romania it's very much safe, Poland is very much safe. So that's really what you can do to support the most. Keeping on donating for the Grand Circle Foundation and traveling in the region.